Give them a call, 448-3182. Let me say good morning to you. Welcome to a discussion on DBS Radio. Hazare Williams has been saying it all morning that officials and guests will be on this morning in UWI Global Campus, and it's the first time for the year 2026. It's a pleasure to have them on. So we're going to start right now. And let me welcome our guests. Let me start with the ladies first, as I welcome Dr. Kimon Joseph of the UE Global Campus. Good morning to you, Dr. Kimon Joseph. Happy New Year as well.
Good morning, Ivona, and good morning to all the listeners of DBS Radio, and Happy New Year to everyone. It is a pleasure for us to be here today to talk about our Semester 2 Part 1 courses and pretty much everything UWI.
All right, it's a pleasure to have you on. Interesting year last year?
Very good year
Mixed
last year.
fortunes?
Very good year. It was a good year. It was a good year. Personally, I had my challenges, but for the UWI, it was a good year.
All right, we'll talk about that some more. Let me go to Studio 2 and welcome the gentleman, Dr. Barry Kazimi. You have company as well. Happy New Year to you.
Hi, thank you, and many happy returns to you.
Okay, it's a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much. I was just telling Dr. Kimon Joseph, it's the first time for the year. It's the first time with you as well.
Yes,
Probably
yes,
it's
yes.
the first time I'm seeing you for the year. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But it's a
I
pleasure
must
to
say,
have you on.
Thank you.
All right. How was the year for you as well?
The year was great. I can't complain. The success we've had, both at the global campus and personally, I think the year was an extraordinary. And I'm really thankful and grateful for how the year turned out. 2025.
All right. It's a pleasure to have you on. You brought company with you as
I
well?
did.
No stranger to radio. No stranger to social media. No stranger to the national scene. Good morning to you,
Good morning,
Mr. Oliver St. John.
Good morning, Ivona. Good morning, and let me wish you all the best, not only for the new year but for the entire year,
Thank you.
and to your listening public.
All right, it's a pleasure to have you on as well. Okay, so let's begin the discussion. Dr. Kimon Joseph, a lot is happening as you told us. By the way, I was looking at social media and I saw a graduation ceremony held already, a commencement exercise held already just recently.
Right, yes. So, typically the UWI Global Campus virtual graduation ceremony takes place the first Saturday in November. And so Hurricane Melissa had other plans and affected Jamaica so badly, and that's where our headquarters are, as well as UETV, which does most of the work in terms of the virtual production. So we had to delay our graduation. Typically in Dominica, we have our early childhood graduates who participate in the ceremonies at around the same time that the degree students do. But since we were not ready yet for that part of things, because we were sorting things out in Jamaica, Dominica opted to have a ceremony for the graduates of the early childhood education program, which is a 2-year program at UWI, and we did that on December 19th. So right before Christmas, we had that wonderful occasion with those students. Last Saturday, the UWI Global Campus hosted finally that virtual graduation ceremony for the degree students for the class of 2025. And as is typically the case for Dominica, we do have a face-to-face celebration for these students. So that has been set for the 5th of February, Thursday, the 5th of February 2026. In fact, today is the very first day that we'll be doing our rehearsals. We have 3 rehearsals that we do for that, because that ceremony takes place at Truth and Grace Fellowship Global. And so we will begin with our first rehearsal for that today. We are overjoyed that so many students, despite the fact that they've had the virtual ceremony, choose to do the face-to-face to celebrate with their families and to have an occasion, where they can really enjoy and bask in their success. We are very fortunate in Dominica that the principal of the UWI Global Campus is from Dominica, and Dr. Sever comes home for Christmas every year and stays until March. So these ceremonies that we do must be presided by someone from the senior management team, and so we're always fortunate that Dr. Sever is going to be here anyway, and so it is his delight and his joy to be able to share with the students face to face after they have done so well, and made so many sacrifices for their education. So it's a lovely little graduation season for us that started the last week of December and will finish on that first week in February.
Dr. Dr. Barry Kazimi, I like to look at the demographics, particularly where age is concerned. Well, gender more so, but I also want to touch on age as well. What are you seeing? What are you observing in recent time?
When I started working at UWI in 2004, the majority of the students, the student base who did our programs were within the age range of 35 to 45, 48. What we're seeing now, the demographics at this point start from 18 to late 20s, a few 30s, but the vast majority of students are younger people who leave high school. Some leave high school, just leave college, or take a year working and then start. And which is really good. It shows the trajectory as to where we're moving as it relates to higher education. In terms of gender disparities, nothing has changed. We still have just about 15% of male completion, whereas we have 85% of female completion. Not much has changed. We're hoping that we can see an uptick in male participation in our degree programs. Some programs you have only female, and I'm just hoping that the gap can be closed some way, somehow. But presently, the gender disparities has not changed for the past 5 years.
Okay, Dr. Joseph, let me just come back to you. We'll speak with you, Oliver Walsh, in a short while. Oliver St. John. Why did I say Oliver Walsh? Oliver St. John in a short while. But interesting what Dr. Barry Kazimi was saying, Dr. Kimon Joseph, in reference to the age. Young people just leaving high school, continuing to do their courses. I know there was a time way back when, as soon as someone left high school, well, a lot of young people, they would probably seek employment elsewhere, somewhere, and then continue education. But you're seeing now that a lot of young people, as soon as they leave high school, they want to continue. Even if they have found education, they will make it work for them. Are you seeing this as well?
That is a trend that we are happily seeing, and we want to continue to provide that support. So young people are looking for avenues where they can both earn and learn at the same time. A lot of us are not necessarily blessed with the opportunity to leave right away and go abroad and have a family that will pay for it. What we're noticing more and more is that parents are building later. So they have a mortgage, they have other expenses, they have other bills that they have to pay, they have more than one child. And so it becomes increasingly difficult. When I go into the high school to speak to young people, I always tell them that everybody's circumstance is different. So, you have to look at things when you're picking a university that you want to go to. You have to look at things in terms of, did you always grow up in the house that you are living in right now? Or do you clearly remember when your parents built that house? That's going to make a difference. Are you the first child or are you the fourth child? Has your brothers and sisters, have they gone to university ahead of you? That's going to make a difference. So are you in a single parent household? Are you in a situation where you have family members overseas who have been sending help from time to time or regularly? All these things make a difference, and they contribute to each person's unique experience and how ready that person is to take the next step into tertiary education. I always believe that, and I speak to them about that all the time when I go to meet young people. And so what we have noticed is that more and more in the late teens and early 20s, young people are taking advantage of the opportunity to be able to go to school while they are working and able to contribute to their families and contribute to paying back for that education.
Oliver St. John, you two have benefited tremendously from UWI. Speak to us about what you have seen as well in recent time. Sing the praises of UWI before we delve into the topic at hand.
And I'm happy to do so, Ivona, because as you've said, or rightly said, I have benefited. I started with UWI all the way back in 2002. This is when I did my first program with KVL. I did an executive diploma in management with KVL campus. And I have continued. I did programs in 2017, and my latest one was in 2025. Now, that has helped me quite a bit in the sense that the areas in which I feel that I want to perform as I work, but more so from the point of view of getting into being self-employed, where I'll be looking at consultancy. This is where I want to be at, if the good Lord gives me a good life and good health. And what I have learned and gained from UWI, is I almost cannot tell you everything about it, in the sense that it's been so good to me. And It has created good camaraderie. The people I have worked with in terms of going to the classes, when we have this interaction, where we have the group dynamics in terms of group set up on our telephones and that sort of thing, we continue to remain in touch with each other. It has just helped me and allowed me to grow as a better person, both in terms of my discipline, how I interact with other individuals, and how I view education. So I must sing and will continue to sing the praises of UWI as I look forward to continue doing more programs with them.
All right. Wow. And now we have welcomed another lady. So we have Valda Sweeney on the program as well. But Valda, this is becoming very regular for you. You were on DBS with another program just recently.
Yes.
And what, for 3 days you were there and you are back again.
Yes.
UWI has contributed to that, right? Getting you be very busy as well.
Very much so.
Tell us about your experience as well. Let me welcome you to the discussion. We were looking at UWI. Before we go into the topic itself, we were looking at the benefits that UWI provide. We were looking at the fact that a lot of young people are taking up courses at UWI Global, and that's good. A lot of females, a lot of males are joining in that as well. In reference to your experience, tell us about that.
Oh, UWI has been a blessing in disguise. I never knew what I was missing until I went to UWI. I thought, well, I had gone to high school, I had done my subjects, and then Mrs. Bellot it invited me to do some programs with UWI. So you can imagine how long ago that was. And I have never stopped. I first started with the certificate program, and it was just an eye-opener, and it is truly said you never know what you don't know until you get to know what you did not know.
Say that again, please. Say that again. I like this.
You never know what you don't know until you get to know what you did not know. Because I'd been working for a while and I thought I knew it. And then when I went to UWI, I realized that there was so much more I could learn and so much more I could achieve. Not even with a certificate, just by listening and attending to attending the sessions. And the certificate was the icing on the top. When you complete your resume, here it is, you have your certificate or your bachelor's. And we cannot stop there. And I am pleased that the young people are continuing their education, because changes in this world is happening at the speed of light. What you know today might not be relevant for tomorrow. And sitting at home or saying you have that job doesn't cut it. You should continue your education at whatever level. Self-improvement should be continuous. It should not stop. And UWI has afforded us the opportunity. It is not expensive. And even you find it expensive for your salary because the expense is relevant. There is the amount you can pay monthly, make your deposit, budget, and pay to UWI as you go along. So there is no excuse why we should not continue our education. I will tell you something. I was a supervisor and I thought I was doing a good job. But guess what? Sometimes my staff would be upset with me. And I would feel guilty. Imagine I want you to work and feel guilty when I ask you to do something. But then going to UWI, you realize it's not just telling somebody to do something. It's making them understand how important it is to them and the organization. And having patience. And this is what the classes at UWI have. Patience. You will sit home and say, boy, I cannot do that subject. But when you're through, or when you come to the class and the teachers approach you the way they approach you, you realize, but I'm very smart. Here you were saying you could not, and here you're saying, boy, I am a genius, I am smart. Because what they are there to do is to help and ensure that you understand what is being taught to you. And you only have yourself to blame if you do not ask questions. No one knows what is going on in your head. So you do not understand something, you ask. And the teachers are ever willing to ensure that they do not move ahead until you understand what is being taught. So for me, UWI was a blessing in disguise, and I cannot stop. It's like an addiction. I need to learn more. I need to always be there. And not only are you learning, you form connections. You get to meet people you would have never met. Because with this online program, it is online. You meet people from overseas. You would have never met that person. And you never know who is in your class who can assist you sometime in the future.
Oh, well, UWI, that's it. You have done a good job to bring these two guests on. I mean, I've been listening to Valda for many years. Valda has been on radio for many, many years. She's involved with the ECCB Children's Connection, Toastmasters, and other things that she's involved in. And I must say, like, every time I hear Valda, you can just, wow. I mean, she's there, you know. She's there, and it must be probably because of UWI as well.
We're very proud of Sweeney and the work that she has been doing. I remember coming to my public speaking class and then taking my developing leadership presence class. And it's like as if every class I taught, Valda was in, and then she started taking Dr. Kazimi's classes, and she's taken. So I'm very proud of her because she has really taken those steps in terms of her education. Post-retirement, she's blooming. She looks younger than ever.
Yes.
And a lot of it has to do with, that quest for knowledge and that love of sharing experiences with other people. And one wonderful thing that I've noticed about Valda and about a lot of the students in our programs who have a lot of work experience is that they have no shame whatsoever in sharing with younger people and in learning from younger people in these classes. So you have somebody in their 50s, in their 60s. We've had people even 80 years old taking our classes. I did have a public speaking class once, and I had about 5 of them were in their 70s and 80s. And then we have people who are 16, 17, 18, but they get to learn from each other. There's so many things for the young people to teach us. And there's so much that they can learn from us as well. And Valda definitely is one of those people who is always willing to learn and willing to share her experiences in what has happened over her life. And so that is one of the beautiful things about the UWI program is that shared experience.
Oh, that's interesting. So Valda has provided an inspiration very early in the new year.
Yes.
Because there was a time I was busy trying to grab education. Even if I'm always busy at work, but I think I should go back to do this.
We haven't seen you in a little while. We haven't seen you in a little while.
Yeah.
I think your biggest thing, Ivona, is that you very much enjoyed coming to the UWI when we used to have the face-to-face. So you like to driving up from DBS and parking your car and sitting at UWI.
Yes.
You used to come early, like half an hour early, to just sit there on the grounds under those trees before the hurricane took that away and just bask in that before the classes start. But you can do all that at your home, as your daughters will tell you, because they've taken the program.
Yes,
and then of course Oliver has had, I've not had Oliver in my classes as yet, but Dr. Kazimi has taught Oliver, and Oliver is one of those who has had a lot of experience, and has been able to share that with the colleagues that he has gained at UWI as well.
Okay, so let's get to the meat of the matter. So the UWI Global Campus is offering a variety of continuing and professional education courses designed, of course, to enhance knowledge, to enhance skills in various fields. What are you offering this time around?
Okay, so on Mondays and Wednesdays from 6 p.m., we will be offering advanced counseling, building and construction management, credit union essentials, entrepreneurship and new venture creation, financial accounting, financial risk management, introduction to supervisory management, and public speaking and professional presentation skills. If you're busy on Mondays and Wednesdays and can make Tuesdays and Thursday evenings, available on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Events Management 1, Fundamentals of Practical Surveying, Grant Proposal Writing, Intermediate Conversational Creole, Occupational Health and Safety Tools and Techniques, and Principles of Teaching Young Children. So these are the courses that we have on offer, and we will begin on the 26th of January, and the last set of classes should finish by the 7th of May.
Dr. Barry Kazimi, I'm going through the schedule, particularly Monday and Wednesday, the courses that are offered on these 2 days. Credit Union Essentials, that's interesting.
Yes, that course actually, that the then director of the Cooperative League, Mr. Aaron Darample, he noted that one of the key things, one of the key gaps in the credit union movement is that many of the people on the board of directors, supervisory, the credit committee, and even at the executive level, there were gaps in terms of key areas that require training, like understanding the financial statements, meetings management, leadership, governance. So he approached us so that we could have developed a course specifically for that. We have not offered that course for the past 4 years, I believe. We opted to have it this time around because we believe that it's timely. And that course really speaks to the whole genesis of credit union movement in Dominica, where we started, history of credit union, benefits of credit union. How do you read the financial statements? What are they saying? How can you use different forms of analysis to deduce how the credit unions are doing? You look at the whole issue of governance. You look at meetings management. You look at key areas in leadership. So that course will be speaking towards those key areas. And we're hoping that people who are on boards of credit unions, employees, and even people who are within cooperatives can do that course.
Interesting. So you'll be looking at the genesis of the credit union movement, the history.
Yes.
Very, very important. Let's just take a call before we continue. Let's see if this person wants to get some clarification or something or add to the discussion. And good morning, DBS Radio. Hello? Hello? Okay, so that person probably will have to call back. But we welcome your contributions on the program this morning. We are speaking with folks of the UWI Global Campus. We have Dr. Kimon Joseph, Dr. Barry Kazimi as well. We have Mr. Oliver St. John, and we also have Valda Sweeney as guests on the program. The UWI Hour, the UWI Experience on National Broadcaster DBS Radio. We are looking now at the various courses being offered. We just look at the Credit Union Essentials. Very interesting, the idea behind this. Let us look at some of the other courses, entrepreneurship and new venture creation. That's a 10-week course.
That's a 10-week course.
What does that course offer?
What I always say is that many of us, particularly people from African descent, we have not, entrepreneurship is one of the key areas that we are lacking. The last research I recall doing when I did some work in management, Caribbean management, it's only just under 5% of people from African descent who own successful businesses within the region. If you look at Dominica, for instance, just look at Dominica, the percentage of successful businesses from all people is still very small. We have a lot of shops, but we have not evolved anything beyond that. That course will basically assist you in terms of assimilating a key vision as to where you want your business to go, a mission statement. What's your mission? Key values. You're looking at the finance part of it. How do you account for the monies that you're making? How do you look at the marketing aspect of businesses? And the fact of the matter is that when we look at the marketing mix of place and promotion and price, and all, those things have actually evolved with time. Because right now, you can actually sit at home and have your business instead of having a physical structure. So you see how all of those things are evolving. Look at the whole thing of your operations. All of those key elements, that is what that course is going to teach you. Gap analysis. What are the gaps that your business has compared to a competitor? How can you cut down that gap, or how can you increase that gap if your organization have a competitive advantage? And what is the strength of your organization? Do SWOT analysis, pest analysis. Those are the kind of things that we're going to look at in that course. When you're finished, we're hoping that you can at least do a business plan, competent business plan, marketing plan, and present it like you're presenting for someone who's going to give you any sort of funding. So that is what that course is really going to push.
It's a 10-week course, right?
Yes. I think Valda actually did that course.
Give us your experience, Valda Sweeney.
Oh, it was an eye-opener. I have a small business. I'm a finance coach. And I just dived into being a finance coach because I have the experience in finance. And I did not realize there was so much more I should have done before just jumping into that business. And I realized also that this is probably why most businesses feel we have that idea, we need financing, we get financing, and we jump into it, not looking at the ramifications. Who are we competing? Who are in the business? Who are our customers? Is there a market for what we have? Sometimes we start off and it goes very good, but after 6 months, there was not that level of market for us to go into that type of business, or we were not properly financed. So it was an eye-opener, and I encourage persons who are in business or who intend to have a business to sign up for this course, because it will really be an asset. That certificate will not be something on the wall. It will be an asset to them in the knowledge they will acquire to have that business.
Interesting. Before we continue with the other courses, let's hear from Oliver St. John in terms of your experience doing the UWI courses, your experience overall, from even from the get-go, from how you found out that a particular course that you wanted to do was being offered.
Actually, the first course I did, as I indicated earlier, was in 2002. And a friend actually told me about it and encouraged me, and I decided, okay, fine, I'm going to go along. And the more I attended the classes, the more interesting it became, and the more I wanted to learn, because I thought I knew some things along the line of which I was getting into, only to find what I knew was nowhere close to what was required or needed. And as a result, I pursued and continued. I got into the other programs again. I haven't done that first one. I decided to keep listening and to find out what is available. And every time I heard of something that was of interest to me, then I jumped right in. The last program I did, Dr. Kimon was the one who got me into it. She may not know that, but she was doing a program on DBS, and I sat there and I listened to her, and the way she presented that program, I said, no, I've got to get involved in that. And I went in there with Dr. Barry and others, Tony Liverni, and I must say, I have not regretted it for one moment. Now, in terms of my overall, I have been involved in so many different things, and everything that I have done at UWI has led me to get into a better position in the areas that I was in, or I have been in, or I intend to get into. Because the way the lecturers present these things to you, these programs to you, you almost cannot not learn. And in addition to that, to want to pass on that knowledge that you've gained. And for me, it worked better on the various job sites in terms of managing the staff, whether they were just regular, somebody who just moving a bucket of water, a bucket of concrete, or even up to the very specialized individuals on those projects, the way I relate with them. And that's, I think, brought a lot of benefit to the project in itself. So therefore, what I have learned at UWI has really, really helped me tremendously, and is allowing me now, in turn, to help a number of people wherever I get in touch or into contact with them at the various areas where I would have worked. So I must say, it's just a world of difference to me, and something that I will continue to appreciate.
And working online is very convenient for you as well.
I have not done any online.
Okay.
I've always been face-to-face.
Face-to-face.
There's
Okay.
what I'm looking at now. Actually, this morning as we came in, I was just mentioning it to Dr. Barry and Dr. Joseph. And that is the Masters in Project Management, or Project Building Construction and Management. So I'm looking at that. So that one I will have probably do online.
Oh, interesting, Dr. Kazimi and Dr. Kimon Joseph. I'm sure these, when you hear this, it makes you smile. I mean, you have heard a lot from
I think I think one of the key things, what I'm really often impressed with, when I walk, say I'm in a supermarket or I'm somewhere, and so a student meets me and say, Dr. Barry, I start a business I was thinking of. We did X, Y, and Z. I actually utilized some of the things that I learned into starting the business. Or, I used the same plan I did in the class. I utilized it to get funds. When you hear those stories, you know that you're doing something great. Because what I always say is that the key about entrepreneurship, when you start the business, you don't just start it for yourself. Everybody, it creates a ripple effect. I say you go for a small loan to start the business. The banks benefit. You hire somebody, you employ somebody, the other person benefit, the customers benefit. So you have that sort of ripple effect when you start businesses. I think one of the things, fascinating thing in the class, and when I do the classes, you learn a lot from the students. One of the fascinating things the students often say is that The reason that a lot of us don't start businesses is because if the business fail, you'll have invested so much and lose everything. But what I often say is that you have to do your research. You may feel a particular idea is a good idea, but do the people have the finances to pay for it? What is the cost of doing the business? Is the environment ready for that sort of business? How are you going to market? So those are critical things you must do. Research you must do, and that is why in that class too, there's a component of research. You must do that research to find out, does that business, yesterday I think it's a good idea, but does that business bring value to the environment that I'm in? It's not everything that will work in a particular country. So you have to know what will work in your environment and what will not work.
Very interesting. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the discussion, semester 2, part 2. That's what we are discussing. But we are also discussing overall the benefits of UWI, taking up courses at UWI, the gratification that people like Dr. Barry Kazimi and Dr. Kimon Joseph, they get. And it's really, really an experience that I would want to encourage as many people as possible to take up. And Kimon also, Dr. Joseph also mentioned earlier that even people in their 80s, yes, are taking up courses as well.
Yeah, so for me, the joy, so Dr. Kazimi talks about his joy, being in the supermarket and being in Roseau and having people tell him that they've started that business. For me, it can be things that may not even necessarily seem to go together. So I teach public speaking, for example, and I've had a student come up to me and say to me, I'm really happy I'm taking this class with because they asked me to help with collection on Sunday. And for the first time I did, I remember what the first time a student said that, I was like, so what does collection have to do with public? Said, you don't understand. If it wasn't for that class I'm taking right now, having to speak in public in front of other students, having to work in breakout groups, there's no way they could have asked me a million times to do collections, and there's no way that I would have done that. Some people have started reading out at church and they'd never done that before. People are finding the strength to be able to say yes, which is why I always tell the students at the end of the program when we do public speaking together, somebody asks you to do the vote of thanks, say yes, and then work towards it and do it. But I am always impressed with the fact that people feel so empowered, and that's the word that I can use, after they've taken courses and programs. I also teach developing leadership presence with Dr. Casimir, and a lot of the people who take that course, they are not necessarily in a leadership position now, but they are working towards it. And then they call or they email or they meet us and they say, I'm now a supervisor, and then Dr. Barry and I can give our congratulations and so on. And it's always a pleasure too that when we do find out from other people that this person has done well or this person has moved up in the company, our staff takes pleasure in doing a little card and all of us writing something on it for the person to say, congratulations and so on. People hardly give hard copy cards anymore, so it's always a joy for us to send that to an organization as a lovely little surprise for somebody, particularly those we know that when they started the programs and when they started the courses, they were very shy and they didn't think they could do it, or if they wanted to give up. It's always such a wonderful thing to be able to say to that person, congratulations and good job, and that we're happy for you, and to praise God and rejoice with that person. So that is very gratifying indeed. So these courses and programs really do make a difference. This semester, there are 3 courses that are face-to-face, while all the others will be available on Zoom. So building and construction management, we have been told by contractors over and over again that they would sincerely prefer to do that course face-to-face. So for the past 5 years that we've been offering that course, we offer it face-to-face. So that begins at 5:30 at UWI on Mondays and Wednesdays. Financial accounting, that is the first time, I believe, Dr. Kazimi, that we're offering financial accounting.
That's the first time we're offering.
And so we have decided to offer financial accounting face-to-face at UWI on Mondays and Wednesdays as well. So the students will have to come for that. And then fundamentals of practical surveying. Well, that's a very practical course. It involves land surveying and the use of instruments and so on. And that course is on Tuesdays and Thursdays and will be offered face-to-face. But all the other courses within the program are offered via Zoom. So people would be able to go home and be able to log on to the Zoom platform and join in the live sessions for their courses.
I think we can take a question from the social media platform. Someone is asking, What is your take on AI right now? Because AI can build a business plan for you, etc.
Dr. Kazmi, you want to tackle the AI first? Go ahead.
The thing about AI is that what you have to understand is some of the information that AI provides, if you don't know what you're doing, you often get wrong information. I'll give you an example. A lawyer in Trinidad, he was preparing for a case. He utilized AI to actually get the information. And he's arguing his case. When he goes to court, the judge tells him, where did you get that information? That information is inaccurate information. So you have that issue with AI. You must know the information to actually utilize AI competently. Because AI can pull out the information, so you get financial statements, projections, but you must know what the country, the environment, what it can sustain in order to actually put in the numbers. So someone reading your business plan, if I'm going to invest, I'm reading it. You're explaining how you're going to get the numbers. AI generating the numbers and what you're saying may be two completely different things. You see? So yes, AI is important, but you must know the information to actually utilize AI competently. Because sometimes the information AI provides, it's often not accurate. But AI gives you a guide as to how to do it, but you must know the information how to do it. Your vision, for example, may not be a particular vision that makes sense for the business you're doing. So you must your mission may not be something that you figure that may dovetail in what you want to do. So some of the things you must know how to do it. The gaps, for example, if you're doing a gap analysis, if you don't do the research, AI provides you with gaps. It may not be necessarily accurate gaps. Key, for example, if you're looking at gaps between credit unions, how fast they actually answer the phone. One credit union might take 5 minutes, one might take 2, one might take 10. Your organization, you get someone to call your phone and see how long it takes you. The gap may be about 2 minutes. AI might give you something completely different. So you must have the information. You must know how to do it. You must have the information to actually do the business plan properly.
Okay, I think we have a call on the line. Let's see if this person wants to contribute. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
I just called for me to contribute towards the program.
Sure, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yes, okay. I did the course in public speaking, but not with UWI. I did it with BTC. And as I heard the person on the panel saying that the one who was asked to do the collection and she could say yes to it, and she wondered where is the connection. But public speaking entails a lot. I too was a very shy person, and right now I am an animator in church. I am chairperson of certain committees. I can face any crowd. So
Awesome.
I can encourage persons. Public speaking really helps a shy person to come out of their shell.
Okay, any course Yes, thank you. Any course you have taken at UWI or any course that you think that you will take up soon?
No, I have not taken any courses with UWI, but I am thinking of taking a course with them.
Okay.
It's to do with DECO.
Oh, okay. All right then.
Nice.
And make out the voice. Thank you so much. All the best.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. That's interesting.
Yes, and she's very right.
We'll be off. Oh, go ahead.
She's very right. There's so much that the course in public speaking does. When we take the journey together for the 6 weeks, for those who are interested in that course, we will look at the different types of speeches. So we will look at speeches to inform, speeches to persuade, and speeches to inspire. We'll also get a chance to look at various skills in terms of public speaking, like how to use a podium successfully, how to use cue cards, how to use visual aids successfully, and we will also be looking at other key elements of professional presentation. So you may not necessarily have to give a big speech, but you need to know as a professional how to do a vote of thanks, how to introduce a speaker, how to do a set of welcome remarks. Just the basics like that are very important. How to do a toast properly at a wedding is important. If you're asked to be the best man or the maid of honor, you should see the mess that some people make out of these things because they're so nervous and they don't enjoy the wedding, because they're nervous about the reception and they have to give a speech, and they think about it for weeks, right? But there are ways to do that and to be able to do it properly. And so we go through that together over the 6 weeks. And by the end of the period, the skills are learned and the confidence increases tremendously. So if you are interested in public speaking, that's one of the goals that you have for yourself this year, 2026. I invite you to join on to the course in public speaking and professional presentation skills. To the caller who just called about the course in wedding planning and decor, we do have that, and that will be available in June, in summer.
Valda Sweeney, give us your experience about group work. How have you benefited from this? Working with a group, like a study group or something like that?
Oh, that is one of the things I love about UWI, because not only is the teacher experiencing what that person is telling us, that facilitator, but we are placed in groups. And in groups, as I said earlier, you never know who is in your class. I can remember being in a class and I was placed in a group. And most of the people were younger than me. But there was this very young lady who I thought was in Dominica, but she was in Tortola. And what amazed me was when it was our entrepreneurship program, and I never realized that this lady had a business. So when we were asked to work on a business, our group said if someone has a business, we could start working with that person. And here it is, this young lady had so much information to share about her Beauty by Simone. I don't know if she's listening, where our group helped her to put that business plan together and market her business, and that was just amazing. So in groups, you have people who do not know, and you have people who know more than you, which is what the world is all about. And the only thing you're supposed to be able to do is to listen and be open. You share the information you have and you receive what is being shared with you from others. This is what I love about the group work.
Wow, I just feel compelled at this juncture to say that I too have benefited a lot from it. And Dr. Kimon Joseph, Dr. Barry Kazimi, I mean, this program on the social media platform and on radio is really crucial. You know, I have met a lot of people who would have said that I listened to the program and I was so, I was so in tune, that I was so encouraged and everything like that. And I decided, yes, I have to go and I have to sign up for a program. And there's this particular lady who would tell me, man, I was wondering how I would pay it. But when I understood that there were terms, for payment and all of that, I just felt satisfied. And then I have done 3 courses. I won't call her name. But yes, a lot of people have benefited. And just listening to Valda as well talk about the group study, and how everybody helps, and that is just tremendous. So let me come on to you, Oliver. So you're hearing all this. You two are part of this UWI family. Tell us what really stands out for you.
I think I want to go along with what Valda has said, and that is the concentration or the focus on the group work. That stands out for me in almost the same context in which she explained it, in that when you get into a particular group, when the sessions are on, and you begin to dialogue, you begin to exchange ideas, and you realize that, wait a while, this person knows so much of that subject matter. I need to pay attention. And in paying attention and being part of the discussion, the conversations, what I would have, I can then discuss it with the group intelligently, because I've listened to somebody else who knows that subject matter, which I thought I knew. But having listened to that person and understanding the way they've presented it and others and their contributions, it helps me to understand that I need to step up. And when the discussion continues and the final decisions are arrived at in terms of what is it we're going to present by way of a document or a presentation, that is just something else to understand and appreciate. So for me, that is one of the areas that really stands out for me for what UWI is doing, because it helps us. And again, when we speak about public speaking, I mean, a lot of us in the groups, and I probably speak for most people in the groups, while it's because all of us do learn, when we have any conversations, there are people who will almost not participate at all. And we who recognize that, we make it our business to put them, to urge them, get involved. And surprisingly, they get so involved that they're always prepared to contribute. So that is one of the key things that stands out for me.
That's interesting. Very, very, very interesting. I love this. Let us look at some of the other courses again. I know all were mentioned. Let us look at particularly the course Intermediate Conversational Creole. I just love this. 5 weeks, no, 6 weeks. That's a 6 weeks course. What in reference to the feedback you have received from past programs like this, what really drives you to continue this?
Well, as Dr. Kazimi will tell you, the learning of our Creole language, learning to read, write, and speak properly in Creole is essential to our culture as well as to our society. And he also talks about, often with students, about the importance of it in business and entrepreneurship. It really makes a difference. If you come by me at UWI and I speak competent Creole and you need to speak to somebody in Creole, and then there's somebody offering courses and programs down the street who cannot understand the word that you're saying, the likelihood of you doing business with me is going to be much higher, right? We connect with people on a people level, so that's important for business as well. We love this course as well as the Fundamentals of Conversational Creole, which is the one that we typically offer in semester 1, because it really provides a unique experience for people who want to learn Creole from scratch, or to continue with their knowledge and their understanding of the culture of Creole. What we have noticed is that in those courses, not only Dominicans take those courses, Ivona. We have people who do business in Dominica and business with Dominicans also taking this course. So Mrs. Wicks will tell you she has had people from Barbados, from Antigua, and from other places taking those courses and wanting to gain an understanding and be able to speak. And she really does get you speaking in 6 weeks. She does get you reading and writing properly in Creole in 6 weeks. And the beauty of the language is that we need to understand that if we cannot preserve it, if we cannot read and write any language, the hope for it lasting is slim to none, right? So it is very important as KEC continues its work, Committee Poetique Creole, that UWI continues to keep its commitment to making sure that we have opportunities for training and growing and preservation of our language and our culture, and that does not only happen during independence time, but like DBS Radio, UWI wants to make Creole an all-year thing. Yes, so I know that there's this famous saying at DBS, it's Creole Day every day. Yes, so it's Creole time whole academic year at UWI, because we really want to ensure that is part of who we are. Yes, so even the folks from KEC, they come to UWI every Tuesday, right, Dr. Kazimi, to work on their dictionary. So Creole is everywhere, and we really want to keep it on. Even Dr. Kazimi and I, we talk all day, and we do try, but Dr. Kazimi is lagging a bit, in the Creole. He's lagging a bit, Ivona.
I wanted to ask him about that.
Lagging a bit.
My next question was directed to him.
Somebody from Colio lagging like that,
Dr. Kazimi, what's happening?
Ivona, since I started school in Rose, my Creole has basically it has taken a back seat. I recall every joke we had in Collier was in Creole, and the joke came out stronger, and I mean it was richer. But I found that when I started school in SME, Creole became weaker. But when I went to university, when I met with the St. Lucians, I spoke Creole 24/7. When I came back to square one. But the good thing about it is that I can still understand it. I still, once I get in the flow of speaking it, I speak it. As a matter of fact, when I often travel with my son, it's French. So my Creole, for some strange reason, my Creole actually just came back. But it's just an area I just have to just keep on speaking it to get back where I was.
I know also that we can take a bow for having very good lecturers. But who trains those trainers? Or is there a refresher course? What happens with them as well?
It's good that you asked that. So we take our training of our tutors very, very seriously at UWI Global Campus in Dominica. In fact, we have taken on training some of the other sites of the UWI Global Campus. So every year, Dr. Kazimi hosts a training session, well, a planning session for some members of our staff, and we sit together and we plan all the courses that are going to take place in the next academic year. And in addition to doing that, we look at the evaluation. So we have 3 types of evaluations for our courses. We have the student evaluation, so students fill out a survey at the end of every course, which you would have had to do. And Dr. Kazimi analyzes that all year round and reports on that to staff all year round. We have an independent researcher who, in addition to the quantitative data that students provide, she calls samples of those students from each of the classes and does qualitative work in terms of really asking them about their experiences in the classes and programs. And then we have a tutor observer who goes into the courses during teaching time and uses a UWI instrument to observe the teachers teaching in the class. So what happens is that all these inform the best practices, what are our tutors doing very well, and areas where our tutors would need to improve. And so during those planning meetings, we sit together under Dr. Kazimi's direction, because he's the program officer, we decide what are the areas where we would require training for our tutors. And then we find out who in UWI can offer those kinds of trainings. The last one we did was in AI, coincidentally. Yeah. So for that person on social media who asked about that, so we had training of effective use of AI. So rather than shy from AI, we want to be able to incorporate AI in our courses, in our programs and teaching. And when students use AI, we want to encourage them to use it to the most effective way that they can to facilitate their learning experience. So every year we do training for our tutors, and every year we ensure that we use data from our research to be able to inform what needs to be done.
Interesting. Okay, I was just about to take another call on the overseas line. The person can call back. Very interesting discussion this morning there with on the UWI Global Campus. So if you want to contribute, you can go ahead and give us a call as well. Valda Sweeney and Oliver St. John, any courses that you are thinking of that probably UWI should add to their roster, incorporate into their programming as well? Is there something that you'd really like UWI to tackle as well? Have you given this any thought? Of course, we have Creole, we have a lot of courses, but is there a course, a particular course that you think would do well, or with the program?
Not necessarily, but something that has been on my mind for a while now, and that is civics, which existed in the schools then, and that's just seemed to have just disappeared. And I think, I'm not sure if it's something that UWI has to take up, or if it's the secondary school system. Or
it could be incorporated into other courses.
Yeah, because
but it's
we
not
have
a specific course. But yes, Dr. Kazimi.
But we have in our leadership key elements of civics, ethics, different areas are required to be a better human in our leadership course, because leadership, you require those sort of qualities to be a good leader. So in some of the courses, we don't have it as a specific course, but we have those things incorporated in some of the courses that we have. Because, I mean, you're required to be a good human in any area that you're going to be in, whether it's in leadership, whether it's you are following an organization. It requires of you to be ethical and be a good human being. So yes, we teach it within the parameters of some of our courses. Okay. But even in public speaking, a good speaker requires to be a good
definitely
person, as Kimon would allude to.
Let's just get this person quickly. We can always continue that point. Yes, good morning. Thanks for calling.
Good morning.
Dr. Steinberg Henry.
Hey, Dr. Kimon and Dr. Kazumi, good morning to you and all your guests.
Yes,
good morning, Dr. Steinberg.
When I heard you speak of other courses, I'm going to talk about something that might be a departure from your focus on courses. When I heard of the Debosh matter, and I understood the environmental debate, and you had scientists, persons in ecosystems, environmentalists discussing the implications of a development project. I thought that was a beautiful opportunity to begin discussions on environment and ecosystems, like a sort of ecologic. So I called Ivona and I told her, Ivona, maybe DBS should lead this off and get the UE and the State College to begin some discussion on ecosystems, environment, ecological systems, human beings interfacing with environmental activity, blah, blah, blah. And I just thought it's something, and then I hear you here this morning, and I'm wondering whether we cannot begin to spawn, it's almost like a series of discussions on environment, ecosystems, ecological systems, so people can understand better how these things function and how human beings live with them and in them and how they can impact human activity. I think because it's in the air, it is something that we can generate some discourse about as a university and as a state college. I just thought I'd ask, but Dr. Kiman, it's a pleasure to hear you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
That is certainly something that is hot, and I'm using that word freely here, not only for now, but will always be, because humans have always needed to be able to understand their place in a world where they have to exist with the environment. And now more than ever, we are seeing that what we do directly impacts the environment. And we have those strong winds, we have those shortages of fresh water, we have all these things happening now more than ever before. I mean, in my mother's time, she would probably have never thought that Dominica would ever never have enough water or something like that. But more and more, we're seeing that the rivers are getting smaller, So there are a lot of things now that are more in our consciousness and in our reality than they ever were before. UWI does have the expertise in terms of people who are environmental specialists. I'm not, and neither is Dr. Casimir, but I'm thinking that a good way for us to focus on things like that would be in one of our lectures. I would have to sit with my team and see which lecture series it would most be suitable for, and that is something that we can definitely look at in terms of getting the experts there to talk about their research and what they've been doing and how they can advise based on the data, because I believe in data and I believe in people who know what they're saying, addressing certain issues. So that is definitely one area, because UWI is not short in terms of competent people who have been doing research and work, and to be able to come and do one of our lecture series pertaining to the environment and ecological systems and so on. So this is a very good idea, because like I just said, it's not something that's only happening now. It's not only hot now, but it's something that is really a part of our lives now more than ever before.
Dr. Casimir, you want to add to this, or you?
Well, yeah, I mean, basically, I had basically similar sentiments. It's something that we can actually incorporate in one of our lecture series.
Okay. All right, so let us look again.
Okay, before you continue,
go ahead.
Answered. And it's strange because the subject I was thinking of we could add was coastline management, because I live, and then here it is, Dr. Henry made that suggestion, because I live on the coastline and everything is changing. We are hearing that the sea is coming in, and in some areas it definitely is, and there is no management, at least in my area of the coast. I was thinking probably we are not aware of what we should do and what we should not do, because we were told years ago, like in Pottersville, the tamarind trees were imported to be planted along the coast, and we noticed that all those trees were chopped down, and like things are just evolving in a different manner. And here we are saying that the sea is coming in, but what are we doing to ensure that it does not take over our island or take over the coastal areas? So this is what I was thinking of, that we could incorporate that.
Very
interesting. That's your thought, and then Dr. Stenberg can recall with this.
Yeah, and one of the projects that we have been working on, we've been trying, UWI has prepared a course that we would like to work with the Ministry of Environment on, is really to be able to help to train those who are specifically involved in keeping to the UN's goals for the environment and helping Dominica to comply with some of the key agreements that we have signed on to. And so UWI Global Campus has prepared a course in that particular training for these environmental professionals and others related to us keeping to those agreements. But we continue to work with the Ministry of Environment, because what we really want to do is to be able to get that course going. UWI is ready, and so we continue to work with them through that. We had the support of the minister already, and so we are hopeful that this year 2026, because we prepared the course in 2025, that we can get a movement in that direction in terms of training. And so some of the ecological training that Dr. Henry was talking about is particularly involving that course. And so we're looking forward to that course, providing that skills-based training for the professionals involved in environmental protection as well.
Dr. Casimir, let's go through the courses again before we end. Monday and Wednesday, Tuesday and Thursday. I see you have a two-day workshops as well.
Yes, so we have labor.
Let's go through this. Yes.
Yes, so we have labor and employment law. That's a 2-day workshop. MS PowerPoint and effective presentation design, and small business management. All three are areas we believe that organizations can utilize to really improve the organization. We also have, as Dr. Joseph alluded to earlier, Monday and Wednesdays, advanced counseling, building and construction management, credit union essentials, entrepreneurship and new venture creation, financial risk management, introduction to supervisory management, public speaking and presentation skills. So those are the courses we'll have for Monday and Wednesdays. And for Tuesday and Thursday, we have advanced management, fundamentals of practical surveying, grant proposal writing, intermediate conversational Creole, occupational health and safety, tools and techniques, and principles of teaching young children. Those are the courses that we have. In terms of cost, our 10-week courses are $500, our 13-week $650, and our 6 weeks is only $300. Our goal is to allow access. So I know you're saying that the prices are not exorbitant. So we want to ensure that there's access to higher education. We do offer payment plans, because we understand that some people may have more challenges than others. So we offer payment plans.
And there are people who take more than one course, right?
Of course, no doubt. You could do 2 courses. Yes, of course.
So the payment plan is in place.
One last thing. Oh, you are a call?
Yes, there's a call. Let's just take this final one. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Miss Ivona.
Hi.
And good morning to your guests.
Good morning.
I just listened to one of your guests talk about the coastal area, and you paying attention to it. I involved in tourism for a while, and that's one of the things we're supposed to be doing to protect our environment, because we're selling the environment for the world. And we don't pay much attention in more beach areas that we live on the beach. When you look at Pottersville coming back to Popole, these are places that's supposed to be upgraded and maintained, even with the same trees, the sweet tambourines, mangoes, because Mr. Labor planted trees in the 70s, the late 60s, to protect the environment, all going down on the West Coast. Even the gardens, when you look at the gardens are supposed to be rebuilt in naturality, sell it for the world, because I think Mr. Ordingu had a project for the gardens to really develop it so that you can bring more tourism there. And waterfalls, I think he was going to build something like waterfalls on the sea, the river, from the hot spring and waterway. So we could pay attention to those things. And when you hear Greek legends, leave those things for us to do. And we will doing it. We will pay the price, Have a good morning.
Okay, well, thanks for your contribution. This morning we are coming to the end of the program, and as we end, let's just hear from our guests before we hear from closing remarks from Dr. Barry Casimir and Dr. Kimon Joseph. So let's hear from Valda Sweeney and Mr. Oliver St. John as we end on the UWI connection, the UWI experience. Remember, semester 2, part 1, from the 26th of January to the 7th of May. So you have courses, 10 weeks courses, 6 weeks, and
13
weeks courses as well. And there's a 2-day workshop on labor and employment law, also on MS PowerPoint and effective presentation design and small business management, and that costs $200. And there's a payment plan as well. So call UWI and you can get more information. Oliver St. John, let's hear from you as we end.
Okay, let me just say it's it's a pleasure having been here and been invited by UWI. I want to encourage every person who have had the opportunity to listen to us this morning, and even those who may not have had that opportunity, that others who heard can share with them. Because learning is an ongoing thing. It never ends, irrespective of what age you are at. So once you are able to comprehend, then learning continues. So therefore, I want to use this opportunity here this morning to encourage each and every person, as long as he or she has the capacity to learn, to get involved. And there's no better way of getting involved than being part and parcel of the UWI experience. Again, the prices here I think are pretty reasonable. There are payment plans. So let me just encourage the listening public, especially the younger persons, everybody but the younger persons, to seek to get involved in one of the UWI programs, which will, and I emphasize, will enhance your life down the road.
Valda Sweeney.
Happy New Year, everyone. It's a late time to say that to our listeners.
So late.
I thank UWI for inviting me to this program to share my experience. And I thank you, the listeners of the BS, for listening to us and those who called in. I also want to encourage you out there that you could come in, you could sign up with UWI for a program. And there is absolutely no excuse. The prices are relatively okay. And you may say, I'm saying that because I have the money. No, there is a term called budgeting. And if you sign up for one of UWI's program, you will learn more about that. Budgeting. So, okay, this year is a challenge for you, but UWI is there to stay. And there will be the courses offered later in June, and there will be the courses offered January next year. So if you start saving because you cannot afford the payment plan, you will at some point be able to afford to sign up for that UWI program. An investment in your education is an investment in your life, because you might learn something in UWI which might challenge you and cause you to think differently. You may just be spending, because in Dominica we have a spending problem, and there are ways to encourage us to spend our money. UWI is going to teach you that way, to keep your money, love your money, pay yourself. And imagine you getting that information and working on that information and passing on that information to your children, because you do not only learn for yourself, you learn for your family. And this is what UWI is there to encourage you, not to force you, but to encourage you. And you signing up for that program, being in that program, it's going to be a life-changing event. You're not going to want to stop. Do not say about the age, whether you are young or you are younger, because the person who stops learning is the person who will be old. And if you want to stop getting old, just sign up to UWI for that program, and you're going to be moving your brain. Your brain is very important, and it not being stagnant is going to help you. So I thank you for listening, and I encourage you to speak with Dr. Kimon or Dr. Barry on signing up for that program.
Wow. Dr. Barry Kazimi, that was powerful.
I can't say.
Wow. What do you say after this?
What do you say after this? Well, all I want to do is basically encourage people to register for programs right now. With the CPE programs, you can actually matriculate into bachelor's degree programs. So I want to put that out there. If I have at least 4 CPE courses, I can matriculate into any of our BSc programs. So you see the importance of these CPE courses that we offer. Also, I just want to thank the stakeholders, government ministries who often send their employees, jollies, auto trade, fine foods. I want to really thank them for always sending their employees, supporting us. Some of the parliamentary representatives who send their people from their constituencies. We want to thank you. And we just want to thank Dominicans for taking part of our, in our CP courses. Thank you.
And Dr. Kimon.
I too want to offer my encouragement. I like doing that at the beginning of the year to really encourage people in their goals who have been thinking about education for a while, who've been thinking about continuing and professional education for a while, that this is your year. Claim your year and move towards educating yourself. Move towards fulfilling those promises that you have made to yourself. Sometimes we take care of everyone else and we leave ourselves behind. If there's a skill, if there's a course, if there's a program that you have been meaning to start, then this is the year to go ahead and start. If you need to come in and see Dr. Casimir or any member of my staff, I have a very competent team at UWI, or if you'd like to see me, we'll make ourselves available to speak with you about our courses and programs. And I just want to encourage people to take that step. If you've been thinking about it for a little while, this is your year.
Okay, well, thank you. What a way to start this year with the UWI connection, the UWI experience. Remember, continuing education not only enhances your knowledge and your skill, but also professionally, your commitment to personal development, your commitment to professional development. Thanks again, all of you. I really enjoyed today's program.
So did I. Thank you, Ivona, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And remember, semester 2 part 2 begins on the 26th of January to the 7th of May. So call UWI, sign up, and be educated, continue education.
Your future